It's the other side. I'm your guy, Xavier Wary. It's now my second Zoom interview, and this time I have none other than my brother, Mr. Trey Smith. He is the stats analyst at ESPN, and he's a member of the prayer and servant team at his church. My guy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, boss man. How you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic, man. How's life up there right now going for you, especially during these times?
Life is good, man. I always tell people that God treats me better than I deserve. So, like even through a pandemic, even through quarantine, He's still been faithful and blessed me and keeping me with all that I need and more. So, man, I can't complain how life treating you down in DC.
Hey, man, everything's good, man. I can't complain either. I feel like this is a time where now I can kind of, well, we're towards the end of it now, right? But I feel like it's been a
Yeah.
time I get to like find myself. I get to kind of relax a little bit and like decompress and do things of that nature. So been reading a lot, and really just been trying to find out who I am and really embrace that, you know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
really not take the small things for granted, because I feel like
Oh
we do
yeah.
so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
It definitely gave us time to slow down, like because like when you're so busy, that's when you take those small things for granted. Because especially like us, I feel like our generation, I feel like we so forward thinkers, to where like ain't nothing wrong with dreaming, ain't nothing wrong with vision, but like we still have to, take things one day at a time and appreciate those small things too, like you said, because it's the small things that you do good and you be disciplined with the small things, then those big things gonna come, but we gotta still take things step by step.
it's funny that you say that, right? Because prior to COVID, my whole life was set around what I wanted to be, not who I
Yeah,
was, right? And
yeah,
so I remember I read a book, The Alchemist, which really transformed my way of thinking to where it was like he was so set on and I don't want to give the book away, but I'll just pretty much say he was so set on the end journey that it was the little things that
yeah,
really matter, right? It wasn't necessarily getting from A to Z, it was going from A to B and B to C, you know what I mean? And
yeah.
so that's been something where I've been really thankful that we've been able to kind of, again, just be thankful for the small things and the small victories in life, because
Oh
there,
yeah,
there, there, there ought to be, honor and excitement in small achievements, right? Because I feel like that's gonna
right.
really take you forward to the end goal.
Yeah, because like I said, that's what pushes you. Like you gotta have those small victories to keep you going, like day to day. Because that's where the hope comes from. The hope comes from those little things, that little whisper in your ear. Those random thoughts or those like I said, those random dreams or like I said, those random moments that seem like they come together, and you're like, oh man, this is helping me. This is helping me. Like so, like we definitely, like I said, gotta praise God for the things that nobody see and praise God for the things that everybody know about, because it's more things that he do in private than he does in public.
Man, no question. So there's a lot of different things that I want to talk to you about, but since we're already on the subject, one thing that I do want to ask you is your thoughts on everything that's going on as far as whether it's COVID, the whole Black Lives Matter movement really, really at its peak in our lifetime, really. And
Yeah.
Trey, I would say that, to be honest with you, man, I think that this is probably the hardest life has been for our generation, like as far as what we've had to go through.
Yeah.
Um, how do you keep your faith during these times? And then how do you also spread positivity to people near you and around you?
So it's funny that you asked that because I didn't watch the whole video, but I saw like a clip of a video on Instagram with Sarah Jakes Roberts, Bishop T.D. Jakes' daughter, and she's a pastor herself, and she was talking about being consistent in the moments when you not pressured. Because she was like, we all, look forward to like, all right, how we gonna perform under pressure? Like how we gonna do under pressure and like just thrive in moments with pressure. But she was like, if you have that same discipline, that same consistency, you know, when the pressure is off, then it's not gonna be anything, when the pressure gets turned on. She's especially talking about how, Jesus, like he was the same, like his mindset was the same, like his focus was the same, like he knew, his purpose and he was always dead set on his goals and just like discipline and stuff. And so for me, it's just, trying to be the same day by day. The same with like how I approach life and then like, just trying to grow like day by day. And you know, for you for faith. Like a lot of times, people might see what you do on a Sunday, or folks might see what you do for them, but it's like, all right, what you doing when nobody looking? Like yeah, y'all might hear me try to encourage people, like that might be something you see, but I gotta do that for myself. Like I gotta give myself pep talks, like if I can give myself no pep talk, I can give nobody else no pep talk, like, and just like love, like trying to love on folks. Like you gotta really pray to understand God's love and receive God's love, and like believe that He loves you that much. Receive it, and then like you can give it out to others, And like for a long time, I've been trying to love people, love, love, love. But for the longest, I didn't really love myself or understand God's love for me. So it's like as much as I was loving people, it still could have been to a greater capacity.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's kind of where I'm going through living, just like for faith. Like I know you're gonna ask me some more questions about like us being brought up and everything, but like just my faith journey, like just looking back on all God has done for me in the past, and just knowing how like there are times where I had no faith, times my faith was weak. In the words of Richard Sherman, talking about Michael Crabtree, times my faith was mediocre, and it's like, dang, if God did all of this, when I had no faith, weak faith, and mediocre faith, what can He do if I try to tap into elite faith? Like how much could this world change? How much could my life change if I really tapped into the faith that He want me to have with Him? So just you know, staying like connected to Him day by day, and because it's hard. Like this is a tough time for us. Like with you had pandemic with the virus that nobody knew anything about, and it came and basically, took away people from their jobs, and folks rely on unemployment, and people just not knowing how things going to be day by day, week by week, month by month, and then once things seem to get a little bit better, or at least the government feel like they want to open things up, racism never left, but it's just like, oh, nah, I'm gonna show y'all who, like, I'm still the baddest joke. Like, dang, and you got all this happening, but like the same thing he said earlier, like it's not good, but it's gonna work for our good, because it's like, yeah, no sports right now, no concerts, no vacation, like no distractions. So it's like all eyes are on this, and that's kind of what was needed, because we needed people to wake up, like we need, and I guess that's the hard thing about it. It's like, and that's even like with individual growth, but especially growth for a country. Like it's hard to take a look in the mirror and acknowledge your ugly parts, like it's hard to really, because like I tell people all the time, like we can look at another person and say what we don't like about them off rip. Like if you ask, oh, Trey, what you don't like about so and so, so so, I probably could tell you that fast. And it's so funny because sometimes it's hard for people to say what you do like about a person, but it's so easy to say what you don't like. Or it's so easy to say how this person's difficult, this thing is difficult. But we can't look our own selves in the mirror and say, dang, I'm a difficult person, or dang, I don't like this or that by myself, because it forces you to make a change, and I feel like that's what America is doing right now. Like a lot of people who looked over those ugly parts or looked over those difficult parts, they faced with it now. And they gotta look, either you're gonna be with the change, or you're gonna stay set and be stubborn in your old ways, And so that's kind of what my view about it is, just that, yeah, all this sucks. You hate that we gotta go through, but at the same time, if you want the world to be a better place, this like the growing pains that we got to go through, and hopefully 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, when like we got wives, kids, grandkids, our nieces, nephews, hopefully they can be living in a better place, growing up in a better place, and the world is better to them as 24-year-olds than was to us as 24-year-olds.
You said a lot, right? And there's a lot to unpack. I feel like a lot of times God has to strike tragedy in your life in order for you to really truly wake up, right?
Yeah.
And so along with that, I remember when I got my braces back in like ninth grade, she said, "All right, Xavier, it's gonna get worse before it gets better."
Yeah.
And so one thing that I've been realizing is that, and I've been thinking this for about like a week now, is that God, like his timing is impeccable, right? It's
Yeah.
unparalleled. So he placed COVID on us during this time for a reason, right? Like some could say in order for us to self-reflect, slow down, really take part in just the things in life that we overlook. And then you
Yeah.
could say he placed Ahmad, he placed Brianna, he placed he I'm sorry, I just forgot his name, man.
George.
Yeah, George. I was thinking Freddie Gray, but yeah, George Floyd in our lives at this time, right? And just like you said, we can't look away. There's nowhere else for us to turn, right? Because there's nothing else going on. Just like you said, no sports, no concerts, no vacations, no new TV show, no this, that, and the third. You have to see it. You're faced with it, right? And so again, this is one of those situations to me where everything is taking place because of him, and he's doing it. It may be worse right now, but it's going to get better. But in order for it to get better, we have to go through this time in order to really come together and, just like you said, to expose and really vocalize those ugly parts about ourselves that we are not willing or otherwise haven't been willing to really say.
Yeah. Like you gotta go through the breaking, gotta go through the crushing, and too, like tip with our generation, like because you hear people say all the time, dang, I wish I was born in this time or wherever I was born that time, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you know what? God placed us here for a reason. Like, if He wanted us to be born in the 60s, we would have been born in the 60s.
Yeah.
If He wanted to be born in the 70s, 80s, 90s, or even be these early 2000 babies, that would have happened. But, you here while you're here. So, like, we live in now. And two, you got to ask yourself, all right, how can I contribute? Like, God, you got me here, so what's my purpose? Like what's my destiny? Like how are you gonna use me to make a difference? Because if he got you here, then he got plans for you. And sometimes that can be scary because sometimes, his plans, as great as you think our plans are, his plans is always way better. And then two, they always push us to limits that we think we can't go, you know. And it's like what he tell you that he might have for your future, you might not think it's possible, but if he said it, he gonna strengthen you to do it, And so we just gotta be, courageous and trust in him and ourselves.
Absolutely, man. Vision always has to supersede sight. So, I do want to bring it all the way back to the genesis of Mr. Trey Smith and your upbringing, right? So tell me this, growing up in your household, how early was God placed in your life, if as far as you can remember, and how important do you remember it being like, okay, I have to make sure that God is at the forefront of my life and of my walk. Otherwise, nothing truly is really possible of happening.
Like just forever. Like, like my earliest memories are, singing gospel songs with my dad and granddad. Like, they like old quartet music and stuff. So like just singing, Williams Brothers, Lee Williams, Gospel Imperials, um, dang, I'm forgetting some. It's just so many, And then my grandma, she's like a prayer, like what we would call a prayer warrior, and like there's this show. I don't think it's still going. I'm not sure, but it's called Love 1000 in Huntsville radio show, and she would get up and she would do the sick and shut in, prayer requests and everything, and I'll be up with her. So like, there'll be times she would hand me the telephone because she would do it from the telephone. She would call into the radio show, do it from the telephone. And she'll hand me the phone and I'll look at the list and pray over folks on the list, you know, I'm just, imitating my parents, my grandparents, like, not really knowing what's going on for real, but it was a seed placed in my heart. And, it just was carried all the way through from, being older and seeing my mom have her prayer sessions. And like for me, I got the Bill Gates scholarship in high school. And like my mama, her and some of her friends was fasting for me. And that was like one of the first times I really you know, like was introduced to fasting in that like way, and like just seeing like dang, like they must really trust God, have faith in God to where she was giving up something in hopes that I would gain something,
Mm.
and just, it's just little things like that, that make people really, make me really appreciate God and just start up that relationship with him. Cause I would tell people all the time, like, what you see from me, what you see out of my life, it's all a product of God's love, mercy, grace, and my prayer life. But that would be a lie because before I had a strong prayer life, my family had a strong prayer life. So before I was believing in things, my family was believing in things, and their belief in faith drove me to have a belief in faith. And now, I eventually, got my own, but it was theirs first.
Absolutely. So they laid the foundation for you, right? And then I'm sure in hopes that you'll lay the foundation for your kids, and then that'll just kind of trickle forward, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So man, tell me this, man. You do work at ESPN. Tell me your moment of when you found out or when you knew that you wanted to be involved in sports, right? Was it some sort of aha moment that you were like, oh, this is what I want to be involved in? Or was it a sort of gradual, persistent process?
So for me, sports and like, faith in God, like they've always been the two things I like, kind of like love the most. Like I've always loved God, people, and I always love sports. So and people always say you gotta do something that you like to do, you gotta do something that you love to do. And I was like, I talk sports all the time, watch sports all the time, listen, whatever, like all the time. So like that was something that I wanted to do when I was young. People used to like try to put being a lawyer on me just because they said that I would argue a lot. You know, so folks say, "Oh, you should be a lawyer. You should be a lawyer." But I am strong-minded, opinionated, but also, how I ain't trying to slander parents or anything. But you know how people can be like sometimes if a child has a different opinion, you talking back or you hard-headed when it's like, no, I just kind of see things a different way, And then when you get older, you can say the same thing that you said at 24 that you said at 17, but they accept it a different way. But when you're 17, you can't say that.
Oh, not at all.
can't say that, but yeah. So that's kind of how it's just and like just watching, people like Stuart Scott, John Saunders, even people like Bermani Jones now, Stephen A. Smith, of course, and like my family, like my uncles love basketball, talk basketball. My dad was an athlete, so like that was just always, always around me, and so that was something that I wanted to do. And then like, in high school, I went to Lee. We had broadcast journalism magnet program, and I was in that. So just working on that even as a teenager, and it's like, all right, I think I want to do something in sports.
So what made you choose Auburn as the university to go to?
So that one is all right. So that's a good question. So for me, of course, growing up in Alabama, most folks, once you come out the room, they smack you on your butt, clean you up, and they was like, all right, roll tide of War Eagle.
Yep.
So I guess I must have said War Eagle. But so I've always been an Auburn fan. But it's funny because I grew up in HBCU culture too. So, from Huntsville, Alabama, Alabama A&M, and like my auntie, she was because my parents had me young. My dad was 19 and my mom was 17, about to turn 18. So my auntie, my dad's sister, she was entering her senior year of high school. And so like the next, like, so by the time I'm like 2 or so, she's in college and she was on Alabama A&M's dance team. So I used to always travel to A&M games and stuff with my grandparents and everything. So for the longest, I thought I was going to HBCU, like whether it was A&M or then as I got older, it was Tuskegee. And then my brother's dad, stepdad, his family, most of them went to Jackson State in Mississippi. So like that came up on my radar. And then my mom wanted me to go to Morehouse. So for the longest, I thought it was going to be, HBCU territory. But like I always had that love for Auburn too. And then like with that love for sports, and wanting to maybe be a sports reporter, sports journalist, it's like, all right, Alabama, Auburn, like what better place to be, like than that, especially with them having the connections with SEC network and everything, like, so it's like, what better, what better place? So I think I went to my first Auburn game when I was 14, our freshman year of high school. My mom, one of my mom's teacher friends, call him Auntie Allison. She, her and her husband would have like season tickets and different things, and she invited me. This was the year Cam Newton was there, and they played Arkansas. And I think that game was like 65-40 something. It was like a high scoring game. It was a shootout. And like after that moment, like just being there on campus, everything, I was like, this is where I'm gonna be when I'm 18. Like I'm gonna be here, 3 or whatever so years from now. Like this is where I'm gonna be. So like I just kind of was working towards that the rest of high school career. And like I said, I still applied to other schools and stuff, but I just knew that it was really one that I really wanted to go to. Like the other ones would just be, they have a free application fee, or, they're at the college fair, but it was like, or my friends, like South Alabama, half my friend group from high school went to South Alabama. So I applied there just because they was going there, but like I knew Auburn University was the place for me.
So tell me this, as a senior leaving, getting ready to approach your freshman year in college, it's going to be a 3-part question. A, what was your expectation of college? B, what was your experience like during college? And C, what's the one thing that you can take away that you've learned in college?
All right, so as a senior leaving, so let me go back to 17, 18. Mm, how was I thinking? I think I was just excited, like, you know, and naive, excited and naive, because like we all have, expectations or pictures of we think things gonna be like, and then there's the reality of what things are gonna be like. And your picture still could be true. It's just part of an even bigger picture. And like, so for me, I went to Lee High School, so that's, predominantly Black high school, for the most part. And so going from Lee to Auburn, totally different culture, totally different culture. So like that was, you know, culture shock at first, just with that, like, dang, like, all right, this really is a PWI, like predominantly, like it's like, like wow, it really ain't a whole lot of us out here, black people out here. But so that was one of the first adjustments, and then just the freedom, like you not having mom, dad to push you, because like my mom was one of those people who she always threw out statistics at me. And she did the same thing with my little brother. Like, I say that you want to do this. I say you can't do that. Like, just trying to motivate. It's like, now it's your own. You got to have that self-motivation. And like I said, with faith, like, you got to have that self-drive to go to church. Like, like parents not waking up, cooking breakfast, saying, all right, be ready by 10 or 10:30. Like, no, you gotta you gotta do that for yourself now.
I miss the
And
days.
everything. Yeah. And like, I guess too, like knowing that, everybody come from different places, different backgrounds, different homes. So, and just that relearning people, like, cause in high school, like with like high school, like most people know in high school, you knew in middle school. Most people knew in middle school, knew in elementary school. So you go from knowing people basically your whole life to a bunch of strangers, And so that was a big adjustment. And then what was the second part again?
So yeah, so then the second part was your experience through college, and then the last part was the
My
one
takeaway.
takeaway, that you'll take away from being at Auburn.
All right, so my experience at Auburn, so like with everything, you have positives and negatives, right? But for me, the good outweighed the bad. So like, of course, like I said, we're going to PWI, like, yeah, I experienced, more racism than I had in Huntsville. Um, and it was different to, kind of like just navigating it, and just how like, dang, like, we just trying to get our education and stuff.
Yeah.
And, and like, too, like just the little things, because it's not always, people calling you niggers or folks, just doing stuff like that. Like it's just, the little things, like whether it's people doubting you, whether you having a harder time doing something than your white classmate may have with like access to something, or people might expecting you to be one way and you the total opposite, just because of stereotypes and stuff like that. But and like we work through it, and like even now, like the Black Student Union, they've been doing some great work with stand up rallies and protests down there. But so that was like a come to age experience, just growing through that, and because I guess you going from a young man to becoming a man, like from 18 to 21, 22, however age you are, we get out, or some people go a little bit longer, but you experience whole different things. Like I said, highs, lows, so like failures, like, yeah, sometimes in high school, grades might be the least thing that you worry about, because it's so easy. Like studying for a test in high school compared to college, totally different. Like high school, you might have to study for an hour. College, you legit guys study a little bit every day, if you want to, really do good on the test, So just learning how to studying, that's like that discipline, self-control thing again, because you might have to give up something to study, or you might have to say no to going somewhere, if you really want to get the grade that you want to, that you want. And of course, me and you're members of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated.
Yes, sir.
So that was a big one right there, because that like D9, Greek life, that's a whole different world in and of itself too. So when I pledged that, you know, um, I was open to a whole lot of things that I wasn't open to before, or not even open. I guess they had access, whether it's, you know, popularity, or, women, or different things, like, because sometimes people say, oh, did you lose yourself? Or, you wasn't like this before that. And it's like, no, because I tell people that, like, your organization, Greek life, can't make you do nothing that you don't want to do. So maybe because if you did something, you wanted to do it,
Absolutely, yeah.
nine times out of 10. There's always those other instances, but for me, from my experience, I can say, my line brothers, my pro fights, or friends, that like, there was nothing that I did that I didn't want to do, and like sometimes that just opens the door for a bit more access to it, or easier access to it. So, and like I said, for faith, like, that was fun, because like you have, especially in college, like we know how college culture is, So like people always say, "Oh, you young, have fun, blah 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 blah," do this, do that, and like for me, I guess my relationship with God, like I would be convicted if I did certain things, or I would be conscious of, I can't always do this or do that, but my friends might not have that same conviction, or that same, like they might not feel it as they might, but for me, like I could do something one time that somebody do 10 times, and maybe they feel the way after the 10th time, but I could feel it after the first time. And it's like, dang, and like part of it is like, all right, that's cool. I'm glad that I got this conviction. But then the other part is like, man, God, I just want to have fun too. Like I want to, enjoy this time, everything too. But I couldn't, but I also learned that, there are some things that, especially even now out of college, I guess this would be one takeaway. Some of the things that I did that I thought I needed to do or had to experience, it's like, dang, I really didn't, like,
Mhm.
like
Wow.
Because now, like, I don't want those things. I don't want those desires. And it's like, if I knew now what I knew then, I would have known that, yeah, that conviction was for a good reason. Like, he was telling me to stay away from this or that, you know, for a reason, you know, and then I put myself through some hurt and some pain, you know. And like they said, sometimes curiosity kills a cat, you know, and curiosity got me a whole lot of trouble. But I think that's just part of, you know, growing, learning, because like your parents can tell you things. Like my mom told me and my friends in high school, because I think we all had girlfriends our senior year, and she was like, y'all slow down, y'all, you know, like, you know, because y'all all going off to school and everything. Like before, like senior year even started, she was telling us, don't worry, don't get caught up with girls, don't get too in love, blah blah blah. My grandma would call it puppy love, but like they would say all that stuff, but you still like, no, you know, we can be high school sweethearts, we can do this, do that, and I don't think none of our relationships lasted through college and stuff. And you know, you would think about it, like, dang, parents do really know, you know, because they do experience it, you know, but sometimes, you know, we hard headed. So, like you said, like with God earlier, like the way that he do things, like, yeah, sometimes people like, man, God, you ain't have to do all that for me to learn this, that lesson. It's like sometimes you do because he be trying to teach us in, you know, more kind, more gentle ways. But it gets to a point where he's so stubborn, so hard headed, so disobedient that it take him dropping the bomb on us to really, you know, open our eyes or change our hearts. So I think that was one of the big takeaways I had too from my college experiences, that, you know, just because something is available, just because you can do something, don't mean you gotta do it.
I want to rewind just a little bit and talk about when you pledged and life after that, right? So, because obviously when you're in a fraternity, there's going to be a lot of moments when you're enticed to do certain things that may go against your moral compass. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Sometimes it's just having fun and doing stuff, and deep down you're like, man, we probably shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like it's fun to maybe go out and do this, that, and the third, but you know what I mean? Like we probably could get in trouble for it, or just like you may not feel right doing it because of where your moral compass lies. How quick did your line brothers and pro fights and just other members in the chapter, how quickly did they adjust to you as far as saying, okay, like, well, we know certain things, like we're not going to try to pressure Trey into doing that, or we're just going to like respect his boundaries?
It's so quick. It was quick, and like I would honestly say, I'm thankful for God for that, because whether it was friends in high school or my college roommates or my chapter brothers, you know, like all of them, it's so funny because they all, one thing all totally different. All three friend groups totally different, but one thing that they have in common is that they would tell, like, other folks might try to encourage me to do something. They were like, nah, Trey good. Like, like going to in high school, you know, there's little parties that we go to in high school. Folks like, oh, nah. My friends were like, nah, Trey good. Trey good. College, roommate, same thing. Don't ask Trey. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. You know, like they stopping other people before it even get to me. Like line brothers. Like if we have a function or something, people like, oh, Trey, take this, take that. They're like, nah, he good. They're like, I'll take it for him. He good. You know, and so like I'm thankful for that because they helped me out a whole lot. But I would also tell people that on the flip side, while they would tell other folks no, they'll come jokingly ask, hey, Trey, go ahead and do this, go ahead and do that. Knowing that I'm gonna say no, but just, you know, making it a light-hearted moment. But like they would like, nah, Trey, like even my profile, because you know, like, you know, crossing day, like after your probate and stuff, you know, both have parties and different things, and normally, you know, people get lit up. My dean, he even asked me to drink. Like he was like, oh yeah, go ahead, go through. Like like he good. Other folks, he like, nah, Trey not gonna be on that, you know, and so like that was a blessing. I guess I would say the only negative part about it was that if I did slip up in that area, you know, and it's like a positive negative because it's like folks to give me grace, you know, because it's like, oh, that's fine. You know, you still good, but at the same time, with me maybe not slipping as much or doing as much as others, it wasn't. I really wasn't held in check, as much as it's like, oh, Trey, you only did this one time, like you ain't did nothing, blah blah blah. But like I said, for me, that's when I had to hold myself accountable, knowing that I know, I know better, so I got to do better. But like I said, at the same time, they wouldn't condemn me. Like they would, give me grace and everything. And I needed that because I wasn't showing myself that grace, so I needed it from somewhere. But yeah, they definitely that's my line brothers, my pro, like they did respect me and my values a whole lot, and I love and I appreciate them for that because yeah, it that could have been something like, oh, you acting funny or you think you better than us, and it's like it was never none of that, never none of that. It was just all love.
Absolutely. I feel like whenever you're so immersed in God's arms and his love, there's almost like this proverbial shield that like we can just kind of feel if someone were to approach you, and we're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't come to him like that because he's different. And again, it's not like he's acting sanctimonious or anything. It's just like, no, he's just a different dude. He walks the narrow path, right? So
Yeah.
we would be devils in a sense to try to get him to join the other side. You know what I'm saying? And so I really do. I'm grateful that you're also confident in who you are, because that's another thing too, right? I feel like people can really talk the talk, but the confidence comes from walking that journey. You know what I mean? And so for you to be able to have the confidence, and you're in the midst of it all, right? Just like I mentioned, being in a fraternity, and you brought up a good point, crossing day, and everything like that. It's like, okay, like I could have folded plenty of times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was tempted. And that's the thing about the devil, man. He will tempt you, but you stayed strong. And that's admirable, right? Because then other people are looking at you like, dang, man, like he's a good dude. Like I kind of want to do what he does and follow his path and walk that walk too. You're
And like
leading by example.
I'll say it's funny too because like I would think like how you said you stay strong, you didn't fold. And if you ask like friends, that might be what they say. But for me, I remember the times so I did fold and everything. But I also think about how that's just the product of God's grace. Because even like in the Bible, like in Genesis with Abraham, like, you know, we see everything that Abraham went through, everything that he did. But like when it's repeated, it just says Abraham was a man of faith, and God spoke to Abraham. Abraham did it. It don't say that oh well, while Abraham was waiting on his son, he slept with his servant and everything. Like they leave that part out, and like even like David, we are introduced David as a man after God's own heart. It leaves the part out about him, um, killing one of his soldiers because he wanted to sleep with her wife and have a baby by her and everything. But it just shows how, like, when God tells our story, yeah, He knows every single thing, but He gonna he gonna deal with that His way. And when He talks to other people, He just gonna show the highlights, and like that's how sometimes I think about my life. Like, yeah, like have folded plenty of times. I'll tell other people that, or even folks who act like they forgot. Like, I'm like, you was there. Like, what you mean you don't remember? Like, you was there. And it's like, dang, that's just God's grace and mercy right there. And like I said, like, cause it's hard. It's definitely, it ain't easy at all. Cause I can tell people, I'm like, you really gotta know who you are, and then really you gotta really believe in God, because if you don't, you got all these voices in your head, like you got everybody putting this and that in your ear and stuff, and like you got the slander, because of course you trying to do something that other people don't, you trying to stand for something other people don't, whether that's not having sex before marriage, or whether that's forgiveness, or is that praying for your enemies, loving you, all that type of stuff. And you get slandered for it a whole lot because your thinking don't align with everybody else's thinking, or it might seem outdated, or it might be seem too hard, seem like something that just isn't possible to do. And You really gotta I really talk to God on a day-to-day basis because I feel that too, and that's one thing I try to tell other people. Like, don't think that what I'm trying to do is easy. Don't think that I just wake up every day like, oh yeah, God, I want to serve you. I want to do this, I want to do that. Because some days I don't. Some days I don't. And some days I tell people like the fruits of the spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. I'm like, I don't naturally have that every day. I really don't naturally have all nine every day. Like, there's some I don't naturally have any of them. It's like I gotta ask God, God, give me this, because I know you want me to have them, and I know I need them day by day. And so it's really leaning on Him to be my strength. Like I said, everything is through Him, because if I had the choice, and that's how I understand how folks say God loved you and chose you, long time ago, even before you were born. Because I'm like, yeah, I definitely didn't choose this life. Because if I had the choice, I would do the opposite, go down that wide path, not that narrow path. But it's like He chose me for a reason, and I gotta let Him do what He wanted to do.
So part of the path that God did put you on, right, was a position at ESPN. Talk to me about the moment that you got the job offer, and then tell me, what friends and family were saying, how they were feeling, how you were feeling, and were there any internal battles of if you should take it and leave the South and go all the way up north? Talk to me about that.
So for that, I remember, so like really, I had a professor. So it was one of my journalism professors, but he was also like the internship director for the College of Journalism Communication. So like he would send out emails about different job openings and different internships. Like he always did that. And so I saw the internship for ESPN. I saw it, but I didn't think nothing about it, like, oh, that's ESPN. I ain't playing for that. I ain't playing that. But one day, me and my friends were supposed to have lunch, and um, they had to cancel. So like I'm just sitting in like our village dining, just bored, eating my food. I'm like, dang, I might as well apply to that ESPN internship, like ain't got nothing else to do. And so I did that, and like maybe less than a week or a week later, I heard back from him about, setting up a phone call and everything. And just from that moment right there, like right when that happened, I had a great feeling. Like I'm like, dang, it's kind of happen. Like, all right. Then after the first call, great feeling. Second call, even greater feeling. And it's so funny because I didn't tell family and friends at first. Like I think I didn't tell them until like one of the last calls. So like I was kind of like at the end of the process before I finally like whispered to family and friends. And for me there was a waiting period because I think after my third interview there was a waiting period, and then at this time I was going to Miami for spring break with my LBs. So like for me, I already feel like I got it. Like I feel like this is mine. I'm just hoping and praying that they don't call me where I'm down on the beach or at a party or something like that. That's why I'm like, God, please let me get back to Huntsville before I hear from them. Like, I'm like, I feel like this one, like, I really don't want to be caught in that position. And like, I remember like one of my line brothers, he was filming us during that time because I had my tail. He got a job in Miami. So while we was there, he was apartment hunting. And so like he was filming my tail. And then like we knew that I was in the interview process. So we was already like, oh yeah, and Trey gonna be with ESPN. Like we already speaking into assistants. And then after I didn't get no call there. So when I got home, because I went to Huntsville before I went back to Auburn. So I got home and I got an email for them about one last call. And so I got to Auburn, and then that was gonna be said when I got to Auburn. So I got to Auburn. I think it was like a Monday or a Tuesday maybe, and got on a phone call with them, and they basically said that I didn't get the internship, but they loved me so much to the point where they wanted to offer me a part-time job.
Wow.
And so for me, like you saying that there wasn't any internal struggle. No, I was like, yeah, on the go. Like it wasn't no, and they was like, oh, no, talk to your parents, talk to your parents. I'm like, no, they gonna say yeah and everything. No, but like take some time and talk to your parents and like going back like to like comparing yourself to people in the Bible. And it's like, you know, how does it Abraham, you know, God told him, he just said, yeah, like not really knowing everything that was gonna happen. It's like for me, I felt that same, like, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about where Connecticut is, how far it is. It's like, nah, I just want to go, you know, and like talk to my family, and like, you know, I had their vote of approval, and I just, it was just like a great day. It was a great day, and then I like later like told officially accepting, like they sent me the offer letter and everything, and that's like when I posted on Instagram. I had made a post about my offer letter. I took that post down like not too long ago, but so that was like my announcement to everybody, and of course, you know, it was all love, and then like graduation pictures. My first graduation picture was with me like ripping off doing my Superman with ESPN and everything, and then and that's when like even more people found out. But like it was just a great moment. Like I compare it to because I feel like three pivotal moments in my life was when I got Bill Gates scholarship. So when I was named the Gates Scholar, when I um officially got the job at ESPN, then of course me saying that I wanted to set my call and go into ministry. And I just talk about how those up to those points in my life, those are all like the best days of my life, and how like it was just nothing but love from family, from friends, from even people that you don't know. Like, you know, because I remember when I got the Gates scholarship, like, and with Gates, it was kind of like that same thing to where I didn't want to apply at first, but it was really my mom my mom who wanted to apply. I didn't want to write like 6 essays or anything, but after I applied, you know, it was like, oh, I write a little bit, and then we got announced as finalists first. And like when I got announced as a finalist, I knew that I was going to get it, you know, like I forgot how many finalists it was, but I just knew that, okay, I'm going to be at the end. I'm going to be at the end. Then I think a month later, I officially got it. And like it's that same feeling, just, you know, euphoria, love, you know, like you ain't got to worry about nothing really financially, you know, at school. Like, and then same thing with ministry. And ministry was a little bit different just because that was more of a tug. That was more of I've been running away from it, like to not fully embracing it because it's against like cultural norms and everything. So ministry, that was when it was more personal. Because like if I didn't get Gates, you know, I believe God would still make a way. You know, like ESPN didn't get my would have worked somewhere else, you know. But like ministry, that was something I just felt like I I had to do. You know, I
No matter
had
where
to
you were,
do
right?
it.
No matter where you were, I'm sure the ministry would have been a part of your walk, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that's something I had to do. And like with ESPN too, it's funny because that's the only job I applied to.
Wow.
And like I tell people, I'm like, that goes back to like that. I'm either a naive person or I got crazy faith, you know, because like I'm like, dang, that really ain't probably it wasn't the smartest idea, but at the same time, like I just had a feeling, you know, just like with Auburn, like I had a feeling like, all right, this is where I'm going to go, you know, to where like, yeah, I applied to other schools, but like I ain't take them seriously, you know, like because I'm like, this is where I want to be. And then like the Gates scholarship, of course, I applied for, you know, you apply for hundreds of scholarships in high school and stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, because I think I got like 10 scholarships besides Gates. And I even got another scholarship like the same day that I got Gates. But it's like Gates took out everything. like, so it's like everything else is kind of like bonuses. And it's just so funny because like with God, sometimes we pray for this, pray for that, and he gives us more than what we ask for. And then two, sometimes he gives it to us all at the same time. It's like, man, like, I don't know how I thought this moment would be, but it's better than, what I ever dreamed or imagined. And that was just like how it was with ESPN. Like I was just ready. Like I was thankful and I was ready, but not being naive to the point where you really don't know what's on the other side too.
So moving to Connecticut, how long did it take for you to, I guess, maybe find a place to worship? And then how long from there did it take for you or for God to really say to you, Trey, it's time to become a minister?
All right, so the place of worship, that's another thing with God, like being so intentional. So my mom, a lady that she teaches with, her daughter, um, fiance at the time lived here. And he went to, I think they went to Hazel Green. They went to Hazel Green, then they went to University. Well, she went to UAB and he went to University of Alabama. But he was here, they both were a year older than me, but he moved, so he got here first. So he got moved here 2017, 2017. And so they were about to get married. So I think they got married in June or July, maybe June, I think. But so we asked me and the daughter, we moved up here at the same time. So my mom is talking to her mom as we're both moving up here. So like to get us connected and everything. So I got their numbers. And then like, he was one who was going to the church that I go to, Box Church. It was City Church, called City Church at the time, but it's Box. So it was actually him who was going there who invited me, So it's like that right there was all, God was already working and moving. So that didn't take long at all. But I did try out other churches in the area, but I did settle in on Box, and I think I became an official member January 2019.
Okay.
So moved June 2018, became a member January 2019. And then, so for accepting my calling to ministry, it was just like, I guess that summer, because, like that, I was dealing with all the different things, you know, being 17 hours away from home, moving to a new area, having to, adjust to the different culture, get to know people. And, like it's not like you're at school, so you ain't just hanging out. Folks got families and different things. And, some people are already clicked up in friend groups and like just trying to find your place. So for a lot of times it's like, dang, like, I was really just feeling like, all right, God, you really the only constant, stable force in my life. Like, like it was really me and him. And then just going through different things, like, my desire to work in sports was kind of fading away for some reason. Like the passion just wasn't there. And then there's just certain moments in my life that I was just replaying. Like I was replaying some lowlights, replaying some highlights. And just really asking God for forgiveness, for grace, and then forgiving others and offering grace to others. And then, but like, even when things were turning around, it was just like something still just was off. Like, as good as life was, I feel like there was something missing, and he just kept me up late at night. Kept me up late at night, or he would wake me up early in the morning, and me and him would just talk or read the Bible, speak through his word, through songs. And like one night, I was just reading Psalms 139, and I'm gonna paraphrase because I can't remember, should remember it, but it's basically saying that, like, how sometimes we try to hide from God and we might try to go in the darkness, but he see light in the darkness the same, and that you really can't run from, you can't hide from him. And like I was running from ministry, I was running from that calling, ever since I was 16, and whether it was Huntsville, Auburn, or Connecticut. Like, yeah, I would try to live for him. Yeah, I would kind of be doing like the bare minimum, but I wasn't really jumping out there, being 10 toes down behind them, and that early morning, it was like 5 a.m. Like, it was like 5:30 a.m. And like, I made that decision. It's like, how you say, like the aha moment, like it just came out my mouth for the first time ever. Like, I wanted to I'm gonna set my car to go to mission. And I remember I texted all my family and friends, like, like right after, like, and it's like not really, because at that time I wasn't even thinking like, dang, Trey, it's 5 something in the morning. It's like the post in Alabama, it's 4 something in the morning, but it's just like that. It was just a feeling I had never ever felt before, and it was like, chains and strongholds and weights like had just been lifted. And like, I could honestly say, like, there was a good moment, a good stretch where like I actually felt like heaven came down like on me. Like, I was just living in like another world. Like, I was loving on people in a way that I had never loved on people. Like, I was just, there's just so much going on. And like now, I'm like, man, I wish I could get back to that place, because like, I'm like, I remember that glory. I was like, I want to live and stay in that glory forever and ever and ever, because it was the most wonderful experience of my life.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, man, tell me about what it's been like for you since you've now joined the church, and tell me what your duties entail working with the church now.
So with the church, so like for prayer team, basically at the end of the service, we go up, and there's men, there's women, and for anybody who wants to come pray, they could come up to us in prayer. They try to do something where men only pray with men and women only pray with women, but sometimes that don't always work out. But so that's basically my duty as a prayer team member. And then serving team members basically helping set up everything before the service. And sometimes you might have somebody who is running the coffee table, or you might have somebody that's greeting the first time the first time guests. You have people who are working in the children's ministry, people who are running audio booth, or a lot of times what I really love is greeting people as they come in. That's what I love. So sometimes we have signs and we hold them up, or sometimes you greet people and shake their hands at the door. And then outside of the church, I would try to volunteer in our church office weekly, maybe once or twice a week. And like, even now, like, still trying to do community service work through the church. And really just, feel like I'm in training mode. I'm getting discipled by, not only my pastor, but pastors from back home that's known me ever since I was a young kid, and so it's really like a learning stage, a learning and a growing stage for me, because like I said, when everything happened, I was somewhere, just like ESPN, ready to go, but it's like, I gotta be prepared, and because too, I don't want to lead people, and that's what I took like, I don't want to lead your people the wrong way, like, like, I want to really know that my heart is in the right place, especially nowadays with social media. Like, you even see, you know, pastors, we pastors have always been put on the pedestal, but you can even see it more nowadays. It's like sometimes certain people want to hear a certain pastor, or, and it becomes more about that pastor than it does about what he's preaching, what he's teaching, and everything. So like, for me, it's like, I gotta be humble, because people might try to put me on a pedestal, or it might be easy for me to even try to put myself on one. And it's like, no, like, it's not about me. Like, idolize God, not me, like, and so it's like, that's one thing that I'm going through, and just making sure I have a servant's heart, making sure I'm in the word, like, because I tell people, like, for me, I'm not going to tell you to do anything that I'm not doing myself, or that I haven't tried to do or gone through. And because, like, sometimes people say, do as I say, not as I do. But
Mm-hmm.
like for me, if I want to go in ministry, if I'm really want to be a follower of God, if I want to follow God and put my hand back and try to carry other people so they can follow him too, I gotta do as I say and as I do. Like I gotta do as I say, because people looking at me and as their example, and it gets tough. It's like sometimes, yeah, you don't want to do it, but you gotta know that you're working for something bigger than yourself, and that's kind of what drives me is that I know that this decision, and that's what made it so meaningful is because Gates Scholarship, yes, while family and friends was happy about it, it impacted me more, than anything. Than Alpha, like, yeah, family, friends happy about it, but it was more of an individual goal. ESPN, yes, family, friends happy about it, still individual. Ministry, it's about everybody else but me, like,
Wow,
so,
that's deep. Yeah.
so it's like that. And that was like one thing that I think some of my family and some of my friends still might not really understand, or even like strangers. It's like, yeah, like me making this choice is about everybody else. Like this is impacting y'all just as much as it's impacting me. I think that's kind of what led me to do it too. Like that was like one of the pushes that God was giving me because He knows how much I love other people.
Mm-hmm.
And all the reasons why I was saying no had to do with me, was my shortcomings, my past or my insecurities or me thinking about myself. But then He opened my eyes to show me that it's not about me. That one is about Him, and then it's about all those around me. And that, some of the prayers I'm praying for, that I'm praying, it's connected to me saying yes and being obedient to Him. So like that changed everything. That changed everything. It's like, yeah, now I got a deeper drive, like, cause I'm living for God. I'm living for my mama. I'm living for my grandma. I'm living for my cousins. I'm living for my line brothers. I'm living for my neos. I'm living for you. I'm living for those on social media, who might be looking at my pages and like, it's it's so much bigger than me, and it's like I can't give up no matter how hard it gets, because it's other people connected to me. It's other people that depend on me, and it's like, yeah, God, let's go, let's ride.
Yeah, man. I love that insight because I really feel like that when you only rely on yourself, you can kind of say, well, you know what, I can just like mail it in today, or I can put that off until tomorrow. But if you know that there are other people who are relying on you, because it is bigger than just you, I feel like that's where you can find some sort of strength,
Yeah,
especially during days where you feel like I don't have it today, right? Whether
yeah,
you're relying on God or relying on some of the people in your church you're supposed to be praying for, or just like you said, your neos, your profiles, your line brothers, me, people on social. I think that is really, really great insight because that is going to help you on days when you're weak and then when you feel like, I just don't have it. But then you do realize, man, people are looking up to you. They're admiring you. I really, truly feel like you are a transformative figure and that you found your calling and that God is really, truly using you in the best way possible. And, you answering that call and answering that bell, that is huge, man. It's worthy to, like, I should applaud you for it, right? Because that is something that everybody's not willing to do, right? It is a very selfless act that you are embarking on. And again, man, I just commend you. I do love you very much for it, brother. And you are just a genuine good soul, man. And I really appreciate every Monday. I know what time it is, you know what I'm saying? Like with our Monday message, man, to like get the week off started strong. I look forward to those, you know what I mean? Because you always have a message every single week and it's something positive. It's very uplifting, spiritually healing, right? And I just really, truly thank you for answering God's call and also staying true to who you are.
and you welcome, and like I said, I love you too, and like I'm thankful that God chose me, like,
Mm.
because like I know that I'm unworthy, I know that I don't deserve it. And like that scripture say, why me, why me, why me, why me? My grandma, grandma Glow, I love you, grandma, I love you, grandma. She told me, she's like, Trey, stop asking God why you, and just thank Him and go do it. Like stop, like stop asking, why. Like Kiara shared, she has a song called Keeps Happening to Me. And just about how God just keep on blessing, keep on doing these crazy things in her life, and how like, it could come a time where you're like, dang God, why me? Or, like, dang God, people ask me like, why does this happen to you? Or how did you do this? Your answer is God, God, God. And it's like, sometimes you might shy away from that answer, but it's like, no, like, God, I can't be shy about it. Like, I can't play it cool, because even like you look past life, like knowing like where has life really guiding us and taking us by playing it cool about God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit. Like, all right, but life ain't that great. Like it ain't that great. So like maybe I don't know how much will change, but I'm bet on God, like, because he ain't never lost. As LeVar Ball said, undefeated, never lost. So like, look, I look at his track record, like, you know what? I don't know what he gonna do. I don't know how he gonna do it, but he gonna come through.
Absolutely.
And like I just love him for it. Like, I love how he connected us, because we were cool, elementary school, then we were a little cool in like high school, and then but how he reconnected us, through Alpha, and then with both of us moving around, just like how he's just so intentional about every single detail of our lives, man.
It's amazing, man. So before I get you out of here, I did shoot you this question before we got on.
Oh yeah.
Because I wanted you to think about it, because I knew it was going to be difficult for you, all right? So, Mr. Person, I got to ask you, give me your Mount Rushmore of the best gospel artists ever.
And what I told you. I told you that is a lose question. That is not fair. But no, since we both sports guys, because we know what the sports debate is, that it's always, there's greats in different eras. Mm-hmm. So for me, because like I love the new school gospel music that's dropped in 2020. I love gospel music that dropped in 1970. So like, I want to ask you, because Mount Rushmore, that's 4, right? Mm-hmm. That's 4. So I want to ask, could I give 4 from each, like, all right, old school, and then maybe us growing up in elementary, and then maybe high school, college now, like, or can I give 4 different ones from each era, or do you want me to just choose 4 from one of you? Like,
you got because that's the rules over here, baby.
No, because that's tough. That's tough.
No, it is tough. It is tough. I'll let you break it down in the 3 eras, right? So you could say before our time, during our childhood, and then us right now, if you want to do it that
way. All right. So I'll so before, you gotta go Clark Sisters, gotta go Walter Hawkins. For me, I know this one could be a little bit both. I'll say John P. Key.
Okay.
Because he been around long. He been around long, but I guess he started like before us. Mm-hmm. But so Clark Sisters, Walter Hawkins, John P. Key, and I might go with Shirley Caesar. Miss Shirley Caesar. Okay. That's hard. Then guess childhood, I want to go, because I'm trying to do 2 men, 2 women, equality too. So childhood, I want to go. I'm gonna leave somebody off, and you gonna notice I leave off, but there's a reason why I'm leaving him off. I'm gonna get back to him. All right, so I'm gonna go Fred Hammond, Donnie McClurkin, okay, Yolanda Adams, and then Mary as a group. And then I guess up to now, I love me some Tasha Cobbs. Okay. I love me some Tasha Cobbs. I love Jacqueline Carr. Jonathan McReynolds, he's become a heavyweight over the past few years. And I'm gonna say William McDowell. Okay. William McDowell. And then so the person that I left him out because I would say this is my gospel goat. This is my GOAT right here. If I give gospel GOAT, this is my GOAT. I would say Mr. Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Just because he changed things, you know, like he came in and you know, he changed the game, changed the gospel game. But he got something for everything. Like he still can give you that old school, and then like of course like you know he doing the hip hop and stuff, and then like he you know like so he'll give you stuff that can dance, he'll make you cry, make you smile, make you laugh. Like he, you know, so like Kirk Franklin, that's my gospel GOAT.
That's a really good point, right? And that's a really great list. I love how you broke it down so effortlessly, like through all three eras, right? Like you had boom, boom, boom. And I know that you didn't want to leave people off. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I know that it's a hard question, but I just love to ask. You know what I mean? Like who's on your Mount Rushmore of whatever, right? Like people may ask me about basketball, I may ask somebody about music or, you know, gospel or just whatever I think like really pertains to them. I just love to ask the question because it's a lot of fun to have these talks. And I love lists, you know what I mean? I don't know why. I just love a good list.
Look, and you can't. I ain't gonna leave you off the hook. You gotta throw yours. You gotta give me somebody.
Look, man, look. I'm not as qualified as you. I feel like to put a list. I will say this: early childhood, you hit the nail on the head as far as Mary and Yolanda Adams. I don't care if men or women; they're on my list for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And then for me, mine's a little bit different. Don't judge me. This is more so who I grew up listening to more, right? Kirk Franklin is obviously on it, but the fourth one was Marvin Sapp. I really listened to a lot of Marvin Sapp growing up, and I actually saw him. Yeah, so he came to Oakwood one day. I want to say I was a senior in high school, and he came to Oakwood to perform, and man, I was having a great time, man. I mean, it was absolutely amazing, but. Yeah,
I might have to trade Marvin for William Murphy because I think Marvin was. I might have to trade, but it's so tough. It's so tough because like we didn't say Ty Tribbett, we didn't say Hezekiah Walker. You know, like, it's so tough. But I had to get Kurt, Fred, and Dunny on there. But yeah, Marvin, and like for me, because like Marvin, I guess that's like I think about Marvin. I think about high school. You know, even though he was around for a long time, but that like high school, that's when like Never Would Have Made It. You know, that's when everybody like just that song took everybody for. But yeah, that's a good one right there.
And man, Fred was really instrumental too, man. Look, you're right, man. It's so hard to like do these type of lists because you're gonna leave somebody off, and then you're in your mind you're gonna convince yourself, well, I could actually put them in and replace them with such and such, right? But again, man, it's a really good list. If you have a playlist, bro, send that my way. Actually, I would actually like to hear that if you do have one.
All right, so I got my bad.
Oh no. Go ahead. You good?
I was gonna say, do you got Apple Music or Spotify?
I got Apple and Tidal.
Apple. All right, so I got Spotify, but I have 4 playlists, and I broke it down just like that. So I got. And that's the same way that I do for like R&B and stuff. So I got the old school, 60s, 70s, maybe early 80s. Then I got like late 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s. And then I got high school years, college years. Then I got post-college, college or post-college years. But so like I think I got 4 different playlists for gospel. And then I think the same with like R&B. I got like 4 different playlists just for because too like the music changes too. So you change. So it's like this is like except the old ones like this is how I was feeling right here, right there. And then like the music changes. So like because when you hear certain songs, sometimes they take you to certain places, like whether that's gospel, whether that's rap, R&B. Like there's certain songs like R&B or rap songs that I hear, I think about the first song that I got my car. Like because I'm like, this is especially like before we was really like relying on streaming because our years, like we so unique to where like I tell people all the time, like as technology. As proficient as we are in technology, we had that before life too, so like we still like at points in high school, folks was still listening to the radio, but then you still had start the ops cord and everything too,
Yeah.
So it's like, I remember like there's certain songs that would come down. I was listening, like, dang, I used to be on the radio all the time. Summer, summer 2012, 2013, like, just crazy. But yeah, I definitely will send you those out. Cause I think maybe even if you don't got a Spotify account, I think if you look at it from your computer,
Yeah.
you might can still play it through. But
Mhm.
I'll definitely send you my gospel playlist.
Cool, man. Appreciate it, brother. But again, more than anything, I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for joining me, man. You have a story that is to be revered, admired, and just keep being you, man. Because you being you is going to make other people better. And that to me is one of the greatest things that God could do to somebody. It's just instill in them that other people want to be better versions of themselves just by the light that He shed on you. So, brother, again, thank you so very much, Trey Smith. I love you dearly, man, and have a great day. All right.
I appreciate you, man. I love you. I thank you for having me. You be blessed. Look, we gonna see you on TV one day, man. We gonna see you on our screen one day, man. You keep going, keep pushing, because it's a tough business, but listen, you're equipped for it, man. You're equipped for it. So keep doing you, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it much. All right.
No problem. Love you, boss, man.
I love you too.